good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This night a girl Francis K. And this night in a Calabash talk show, the Calabash Princess, and me in a host. And this afternoon or this evening or this night or this morning, whosoever you know day, I actually get a guest where we can talk about the effect of poverty and how we can actually bridge the gap within our Sierra Leone community. Because we get lots of poverty the way they go around our community right now. But before we actually they start with all them problem and issues the way we get, I want to say, you know, Kushe, you know, cabo, you know me, I like me colorful calabash, because this colorful calabash, yeah, so it gets a lot where it signify now my life. Because my life full of different colors and different ups and down and different pathway, basically. But I want to ask you now, me famble them, how you now week? How was your week? My week be really, really good. That be my beginning birthday, and I did a lot and lots of different things them. So I will ask you, Seth, just tell me if you ever just put one word now the comment box, just tell me how your week day, whether it was fantastic, whether it was awful, and as time goes on, I will ask you. But please, not forget to share this program, yeah, so because today we get something just if we can talk about, and I get one with pretty lady in the Sierra Leone community where we only can talk about this big wahala where we get now with community. And I go introduce we guest. Hi Mia, how are you doing, darling?
Hi, I'm well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for accepting the Canada Calabash talk show, basically. And for a long time, I tried for Calabash you, but you be very busy and you get Salone and they gone with your book. So finally, I got you on the screen. How was your trip to Sierra Leone, first of all?
Oh, it was great. I love being in Sierra Leone. It's home. I had a really good time. I was able to do 3 events, and I had some really great meetings and had some great like social networking events as well. So it was great.
Oh, that's good.
Got to see my family as well. So
That sounds really, really good. So how your week been so far? Because there's a lot of things we go on this week here. So I just think for say we need to touch on and talk about a little bit. So how your week this so far?
my week has been good. I've been working a lot, doing some strategy for myself, my life, and my businesses. It's been kind of quiet for me. But it's been good. I thank God. So yeah.
That's good. So you they actually keep in contact with the Sierra Leone community. I know for say at the moment I describe for look for you. I know see the office book right now because when somebody need for work and focus, you actually get for delete. Sometimes I delete as well and for a week and stay away. I do that sometimes because it help you for focus basically. So you they keep up with the drama at the Sierra Leone community so far?
Well, I've been to keep up for the past I guess like a couple of weeks until maybe 3 days ago when I deactivated my account. So Bokutin and the app, and actually it's quite interesting. With the China Nikki story, and that's just all over the place. And and then what is it? Is it Lack or
the Alex one? Yeah.
Yeah. So him and. So it's just a lot, and then obviously there were some positive things. Antonio Rodriguez, his name, the footballer from Chelsea that went and launched his foundation. That was really good. That's something that I'm very interested in. And, people going back in, and developing the country and developing our people, investing in our people. So that was a positive. Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that as well. Because there was a lot of positive things we happen, we go on, and a lot of negative things. I'll say we start from the Leone Star football match with Kai Kamara and issue and everything else, and then we come out from that day. After that drama they finished, then we actually jump again with China Nikki in young drama. Wait, I got a lot to say about that one, but it's not for this show again. And after China Nikki in drama, we get a lot of dramas the way they go on right now in the Sierra Leone community. But that makes us a community, though, and that makes that brings the fun To me, it's better than where we they cost ourselves now social media, they cost ourselves now Facebook. They actually talk about irrelevant things. This one, in a way, the see
Right.
for say salon people them we like ourselves. Because these are the
Yeah.
things that actually just bring out the topic for me. Say we do love ourselves and we care about each other. But the only
Right.
thing where me can say we get for try for help we self in a way.
Right.
And these are one of the things where we can talk about today. So Mia, before we go inside with subject, because we only get 2 hours for sit down on the screen and talk. So before we actually go into it, I just want to make we get to know you a little bit. Because it don't say really where we they see you now with screen, it don't say where they see you now Facebook, and we not say you're Sierra Leonean. So I just think for say we get to know you a little bit. And can you tell us your full name? Basically, how you like people to address you?
So my full name is Maimuna Khadija Zubairu, and my married name or whatever surname is Burnett. And yeah, so I came to the United States when I was 9 years old. So I've been here. I'm 42 years old. I've been here mostly all my life. And yeah, so my parents are still in Sierra Leone. They were here. They're retired. They're in Sierra Leone. I am a business strategist by trade. I do management consulting. I've consulted with the U.S. government and other businesses for 16 years. I do strategy, change management, transformation. I put processes and policies in place. I also I am a chef and a cookbook author of Cooking with My authentic. Cooking with My, easy to prepare West African food. The book is about authentic West African foods. I published that in December 2020, and that's doing pretty well. So yeah, that, and I have Mice Kitchen Food Service, and that one is personal chef services. I do online. What is it? Cooking tutorials, cooking classes. Yeah, I do. We're working on opening a restaurant. It's been kind of challenging. That's okay. That's the challenging piece for me too. Why I have to like kind of get back and strategize a little bit. My partner and I, we've been looking for months for a restaurant to open a carry out type restaurant in the DMV. So if anyone knows of any available space. But anyway, so yeah, so that, and we're going to come out with products and services, products, I mean, such as like, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I'm a chef and I'm going blank. Herbs and spices. Wait, like sauces, like peanut sauce and things like that, what we're going to package and have available in grocery stores and be able to ship all over. So working on a lot of things. One other thing that I do is support Ambassador Y, the U.S. ambassador, the Sierra Leone ambassador to the U.S. So I work with him closely as a strategic advisor. And currently a small group of us are working to stand up a chamber of commerce. The name has changed in the past few months, so I'm not going to say the name that we have right now. We're still working on a new name, but we're hoping to launch that in Sierra Leone in March, at the end of March. So yeah, so a lot of stuff.
And I write down, me, I'm really write down everything what you they say right now. I'm keep writing it down. And I just want
Yeah.
to with we Facebook viewers and we YouTube viewers and wherever you're watching this, Instagram or wherever, I want you to share this video because at the end of the day, we actually get a very eloquent Sierra Leonean young lady where we the interview today at the talk show, and also we talk about the poverty in Sierra Leone and how we can bridge the gap as well. So this is going to be a very relevant discussion, and I want you guys to take part of it as well. You can ask me any question. You can call the toll-free line, and you can call in and give your suggestion or whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's not offensive to anybody else. And as I always put a disclaimer at this show, yeah, so the show is for everyone. Whatever we talk about here, so not just based on our own opinion, basically, and our own life experience. We're not professionals, so we cannot come here saying, oh, this is what you need to do. We're just saying these are the things that we think affect the community, and these are the things that I think we need to work on, really. So today, now interview with Mia. And as you see, we get a lot of things where we get to talk about right now. So Mia, you can call the toll-free line as well. It's up in the screen right now. So Mia, I actually want to ask you a simple question, and simple question them for say go with it. Mia, who's how you go school and who's how you born? Because sometimes when you dey talk, you can talk like I go talk. I know one for say you dey talk like one typical Afro man. So who's how you go school and who's how you born?
So okay, so I want to correct you first. I'm not gonna correct you because you're my girl, but it's most people call me Mai. But I always let you and some of my friends call me Mia, but most people call me Mai.
I always do that. I
I
always
know I
do
never
that.
correct you. I know I have several friends like that, honest to God. But I'm like, okay, we're on. So people, yeah, so Mai. Um, but yeah, so now yeah, I born a Salone. I left Salone for 1 9, like I say. I went to school there, Meriwether. I went to Ron Sab's college school, and then came here when I was 9. I turned 10 right after, I think, so basically 10. So yeah, so I now yeah, so I go to school, everything. But my mama tell me one time, she said, the reason why it adds for lot talk Creole like all the way out is because why we they grow up I not be get beaucoup Creole party there. Like, like me party them be diverse. I've always had a diverse group of friends from all over. So like my best friend's Jamaican, so it's like I had cousins I was around, but they were like me too. They came here young or were born here. So yeah, but my kids can't talk Creole, but I go in and out a lot.
I
But
see,
yeah.
but already they don't correct we already. They don't tell we. Linesman, Dirty Man actually say
Oh
Ibona
God.
Elba Street. He say Ibona Elba Street, and the real name na baby. So they
What's
don't
my
tell you
nickname?
already the real name, baby.
Any anybody when know that name, they know me for real from when I was small. Like, yeah, that's Dabo together.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that one there right there. So anyway, we dey try to get to know you a little bit as well. So Maimuna, I'll stick with Maimuna. Now I know. My when it comes to the Sierra Leone community, I know if I say you're very much involved in the community. You do a lot of things, and you're back home. You're over here in America. So how do you actually see yourself? Within the Sierra Leone community and the American Afro community?
Wow. So I don't know. I think my whole thing is wherever I'm at, I like to have impact. I like to have positive impact on people. I like to share a lot. Whether it's resources, I like to empower people. That's just who I am. I've been doing that before social media. My friends, after they talk to me, usually they're like, "Oh my God, like I feel so good. I want to go like conquer the world." I'm one of those people, so I try to do that with our community because I know when I first came on social media, honestly, I wasn't really thinking about like empowering people and all these, like having an impact in our community. I was just being myself, and I was having an impact, and I was getting letters and from people, sometimes from like older people, like thanking me about me speaking out on certain issues in our community, trying to have a positive influence or whatever. So that's when I realized, I was like, okay, well, wow, like people are actually looking to me. I'm influencing people. I always tell people I became an influencer without even like knowing it wasn't intentional, right? So I see myself in the community as someone who can empower people to be their best selves. I see myself as someone who can show people that it doesn't matter how you start. With determination and drive, you can achieve anything. I truly believe anybody can achieve anything. That's just how I am. It's just if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, right? Because sometimes you try to achieve certain things and it's not meant for you. So God doesn't want it for you. But yeah, so I want to be a positive influence. I do want to have impact in Syria as far as like business and investments and things like that. That's why I'm doing the work I'm doing. With the ambassador and the government. I tell people what we're doing. We're not part of the government, but the government is our partner, right? Just like the U.S. government is our partner. What we're doing to bring the investments and things we're trying to bring to Sierra Leone, doors we're trying to open for our people. But yeah, I see that. Yeah. And you know what it is, honestly, like I'm very proud of my culture. That's one thing, right? Like I always say, like, before being African was cool, I was one of the people that I was always proud of being African. I always talked about it, and everything. So writing the book was one of the ways I was trying to, tell people about my rich culture, where I come from, and, and also, trying to bridge the gap, especially between the African Americans and Africans. It's like, okay, we're very similar in so many ways. So in my book, I talk about like the history of dishes and, things like that, and the origins and all of that. But anyway, so yeah, I just want to have a positive impact. However I can.
That's good. I really love that, and your positive impact could definitely help a lot of youth and go bring employment to the country. So from the background sound, I can actually see that's happening. So well done right there. And I'm glad the way you not actually forget you come out your roots basically, because a lot of picking them way them bring that the diaspora when they're quite young, a lot of them don't really think about going back home. So now we see the like
Right.
of the Chelsea player, we just go back home, like you need to get involved. We see the like of Steve Cocker, we just go back home and get involved. We see people that actually they go back home and try to make a difference in the community.
Right.
So just before we go into the topic, you talk about your book, Mir. Can you tell us a little bit in depth in the book and what to inspire you for write that book there?
Okay, so the book, Cooking with My Easy to Prepare West African Foods, the biggest inspiration was that a lot of my younger cousins used to always ask me to teach them how to cook. And some of them used to say, you need to write a book. These are the ones that were like born here, and one thing they used to say is like, when I ask my mom or my mom or my aunts, to teach me how to cook, they're like, oh, but left people, I must have you for measure, like, for measurements and things like that. Or they're impatient while they're cooking to teach them. And so they wanted to learn. So that was the main thing. And then also, another reason was, again, I wanted to bridge the gap. I wanted African Americans in particular to kind of see how we're connected. Our foods are so similar, First of all, like I tell people, you travel anywhere in the Caribbean, like it's like the same foods we eat in Sierra Leone. It's just a little different, right? Like you just notice these things, and it's like that in America too, especially down south. So I wanted to just kind of, and I wanted to let them know that it's easy. My book is very easy, like 6-7 steps the most, 5-6 steps I think the most, like how to prepare the food. Yeah, and honestly, I've had the great feedback on, like, you can go on Amazon and read feedback from like all types of people about how easy it really is to cook our food. So anyway, so that's why I did it. And again, I just love my culture. I think our culture is so rich. Like I've always known that I was special because of where I came from. People always say like, oh, you're just so like confident. Some people take it as arrogance, but I'm just a very confident person because I know who I am and I know my history, and it's very rich. So I exude that confidence.
Even from when you the talk, you get to the confidence in you, and that because of those confidence, that's why people call us the alpha female. But
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that.
It's because you know who you are, right?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know who you are.
You
Yeah,
know exactly who you are. You know what you want out of your life, and you know who to associate it with. So that makes
right.
you understand your well-being and understand your environment. And with that said, that's help us to progress. But when you actually
Yeah,
look at it, they give you the brand, oh, the alpha female, they like this,
right.
but it's not that. You know exactly who you are, and from talking
Can
to
I?
you, I can tell. Like yes,
Right.
yeah.
So that's one of the things I really try to do too with social media. And I think I've been a bit effective too, where I try to show like folks that you don't have to be put in a box. Like I am not in a box. I have so many sides to me. I've done very well in my career. I mean, I always tell people usually like on the weekends or, in the afternoons, I'm down the street at the coffee shop with my homeless friends. Like literally we're all like, hanging around and this and that. Like I'm with the ambassadors. I could be with a president. I can be anywhere, like, and I can be smoking a cigar with some of the neighborhood guys, and I can be dancing on a table in Miami one day. You can't put me in a box. And I wanted to show our people that, because it's either you're like smart and successful, or you're like useless, or it's like, no, you can be different things, right? Like, so I'm a mother, I mean, like, so yeah, so that's one of the things that really,
I tell people this every single day. I said, you need to learn from the people who are doing it. And especially for the younger generation coming up, social media is not just so that we just come there and they cuss each other, or they say things them to each other, or insult each other, or start looking for China Nikki in a way around. Social media is about learning. We have to learn. For me, when I go Instagram, I learn from the people like Oprah. I listen to people like John Maxwell. Those are the people I want to listen. I listen to audio. Audio is the way they inspire me every single morning. Things the way other people and they do, where go help me for influence me on life too, in every way I do my life. But the moment you start doing that, and because I believe one thing, the moment you start understanding yourself, understanding your environment, understanding your well-being, then believe you me, you start getting away a little bit from the community. And the moment you start doing that, they start branding you in a different name. I don't land on there a lot, but at the end of the day, I tell people, use the material where you get for influence yourself, for help yourself out. See, you're author, I'm an author too. We talk about the background, so we know each other quite well. We write, no matter what, I always tell people them little things you can do to empower other people and actually develop yourself. Like writing a book, it doesn't take a lot. It just take your brain and for startup. People like you always say, I want to start something. I was so proud of you. I inbox you, I said, Maimuna, I'm so proud of you. Because when you actually, for writing, it's not easy. It's not easy to do. And when you put
one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard. I'm writing one at the moment, human being and the aspects of relationships. And I got two book I write right now. I got one when Tears of a Jihadist Mom, and then human beings and the aspects of relationship. It's really hard. I even call you, Bear, I'm going to mention you in the book at some point and think, it's hard. The book was supposed to come out in December. I've pushed it to April. I'm still working on it. It's hard work. But if you put yourself down and commit yourself to them, believe you me, you can do it. People can do it. Not just think for say, Maimuna is doing all this, she's doing that, but you can do it too. If you focus,
you can do it.
Yeah, if you focus and put your mind to it, you're gonna do everything you want to do.
And that's what
First of all, have you done your vision board for 2022?
No, actually, that's one thing I'm supposed to be working on any day now. Actually, I haven't. That's why I said I stopped. I need to do my strategy, my vision board.
I have done my vision board. So I'm advising people out there, do your vision board, pull it out there, bring it out there. Put everything you want for doing a 2022 down, and name them down a piece of paper or even in a photo way, and put them at your room, put them at your phone, somewhere where you'll be able to see it, because your vision board is very important. If you've not done one, do it. I do it every year, and sometimes I've got my 15-year vision board where I do for 15 years, and I've got my yearly one that I does. So out of my 15 years vision board, it can change at any time. That's where I take and do my yearly one where I can want for do, and just put on there, and God can help me. I can always achieve everything where I put now my vision board. So looking at it again, me, I never say you support the ambassador, but the one thing I want to ask you, you say you want to actually come up with you do online cooking, which you do. How people are able to sign up for your online cooking, and how it goes so far. And then after that, a quick one second. Then the products that you want to come up with, right? How you come up with the idea for come up with the products that you want to come up with, and how authentic they are, and if they're actually reasonable for people and for able to afford them. Because when they talk about poverty now, that's what we're coming into. So normal day people, would they be able to afford it at all?
Right. Okay. So great. So your first question,
the online cooking.
The online. So
Yeah.
so if anyone wants to find out anything about Mai's Kitchen, go to dinnerwithmai.com. That's dinnerwithmai.com. I have my book in there. I have my events, my upcoming events. I have you can find out a lot from there. Yeah, so and then the next question is the products and services. So the
Yeah.
products and services we're looking to come up with, the first set would be like signature spices and sauces. And for example, it'd be like maybe a jollof mix or something like that. And they would be what, normal spices cost, at the store. It wouldn't be anything, too expensive or anything like that. Make it market prices. So yeah,
That's
obviously,
good. I'm
if
actually happy with
yeah,
that.
yeah, it wouldn't be anything, yeah, it wouldn't be anything ridiculous or anything like that.
That's good. So the cook online as well, is it free for people for login and join? Is
No,
it
it's
free?
not. No, you have to pay. You have to pay for that. Yeah, you have to
Okay.
pay for that. I do private cooking lessons. I have one corporate client right now, a company called Progress Software. It's a global company. I do quarterly cooking demos with them. So there are different rates for, like if you say you and your man wanted to do a private lesson, there'll be a rate for that and this and that. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to make that clear so that people then go
Yeah.
actually understand. So Mia, now we don't talk about.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt, but so I used to do a lot of live shows, and I want to find time to do that. Those are really fun, and a lot of people tuned in and they enjoyed it. So I used to do them on Thursdays, but I had to stop because again, I have I have a lot of the business side to take care of. But I hope to come back and do those because they were pretty fun and engaging.
That's
So
good. That's really good. And as you can all hear, it's Mia saying we're bringing Cook Show back to us for make we go able for learn from again. And the next thing again, Mia, just before we go into the poverty issue, you're a young girl and I'm a young girl as well. We all a young lady them waiting at the diaspora where they try for, bring Sierra Leone up to the map because no matter what we do, we put Sierra Leone first in it. And just want to ask a question. Do you see yourself moving to Sierra Leone soon? And do you actually see yourself living in there, comfortable one, just the way you live in the diaspora? That is based on your experience where you go back home recently.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, my goal for years has been like to move back. Well, actually, my goal was always to be transient. From before I got married, had a child, I'm a global person, and anybody that knows me, like I travel all the time, and I like to see the world. I feel like I'm a global citizen, and so my idea was always to be transient, like like live in Sierra Leone maybe for 3 months at a time or something like that. Maybe here, somewhere else in Europe, whatever. So that's my end goal. I like being in Sierra Leone. I like being in Sierra Leone more than I like being here, and a lot of people don't get it because I think again they're looking at me like, oh, you have a great life, and I grew up here. I mean, I've been to a lot of beautiful places, but I think Sierra Leone is the most beautiful place for me because maybe that's where I'm from. With all that is so-called wrong, because some people can list all the things they say are wrong. Yes, we have poverty. Yes, we have a lot of development, a lot of things to develop and all of that. But I like being there. I don't know. I just like being in Sierra Leone. But my thing, I always tell people there are pros and cons everywhere. I mean, come on, like trust me, there are cons in America too. So,
Absolutely.
but I
Absolutely.
definitely that's my goal. That's my goal in the next year to start like going back and forth. So yeah.
That's good. And me,
Actually,
I know we
actually
all
dreamt
done.
last night that I actually dreamt last night that I was building my house in Sierra Leone. I started building my house. I swear to God.
Oh,
Last
that's
night.
good. That's a good one. So hopefully it's gonna happen soon, basically.
Oh yeah, it's
Halfway
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
soon, soon, soon. That's good. And I like the way where you use the word pros and cons in the Sierra Leone community and living in Sierra Leone, basically. But before we actually go in, poverty is one of the things that is destroying our country, our economy, and there are these different factors that actually comes to it,
Right.
basically. So, what do you think about the poverty rate in Sierra Leone and the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer? What's in your own opinion regarding that?
I mean, like poverty is a huge issue in our country, in our nation. Because I think obviously the lack of opportunities, right? There aren't that many opportunities. I think I think the government plays a huge role. I think the private citizens play a huge role in our, I don't want to say impoverished state because I don't know. I mean, I think our people play the greatest role, like us, right? I think the biggest challenge for Sierra Leoneans, I had noticed this before I went to Sierra Leone again this time, is our mentality. You hear this all the time, but honest to God, like the way we think, and it's at every level. And what I noticed when I went to Sierra Leone was that it's at every level, from the child to the person on the street selling, to your brother, to your cousin, to your friends, right? It's like I feel like everybody's just hustling, right? And again, and that could be the underlying root cause of that is poverty, I'm sure, right? But it's the mentality. So for me, poverty is a mentality, first of all, right? I always tell people joke with me, oh, you're from when I was young, you're so highfalutin. I always talk big. I always saw big for my life, right? And because I saw big for my life and I talk big, I made stuff happen. But I feel like a lot of us are just complacent. A lot of us, and then that's why when you see someone like moving up, like you said earlier, when they see someone taking a different direction, a lot of times they start to envy you and start to call you names or look at you, you're fake and all of that. I always say, yeah, I'm fake. I'm fake in my apartment right now. I'm fake with the car I was driving. I'm faking wherever I was at. That's fake, right? Like, how is it fake? Like you're being fake or whatever. When you try to progress. So again, it's the mindset. I think for one thing we don't do very well is collaborate. And I'm big on collaboration. And I've noticed that we don't collaborate. You and I can be, doing something similar. And, you can say, hey, maybe we can work together. And, you do this piece of it, I do that piece of it. But the reason we don't collaborate well is because everyone wants to be the leader, and not everybody's a leader. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's another problem. We're very egotistical, and it's like there are people in positions who are not qualified just because they want the visibility. And so that's one piece of why it work. Another piece is that that competition sometimes, like, oh, I want to outshine you. Right. And it's not like a lot of us don't have the mentality where it's like, okay, if we split this, we do this business and we split it 50-50, I can make more splitting 50-50 with you than I can do it by myself. I may not even get anywhere. I might have the best idea, but I can't get anywhere with it because I don't have the skills to be able to implement it and to be able for it to be successful. Right.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so that's our biggest problem. Obviously, again, I think there's a lot of greed. And again, it goes back to us, right? Like I always tell people when we complain about the government and all this stuff, yes, but who are the government? They are our people. They are our moms, dads, aunts, uncles. They are a representation of us. Let's keep it real. So we need to dig down deeper and say, okay, well, like, what are we going to do about it? So the greed, I think the education obviously is very important. And I know that I heard things are getting better with the education system in Sierra Leone. I know when I was there, I had very good education, but to be fair, I went to private schools, right? So, but, so the education, I obviously, healthcare is very important, right?
Yes.
We need better healthcare systems. Anyway, it's so healthcare, jobs, right? We need jobs, but we need training to be able for people to get the jobs. And then, but there's some people that say, well, these kids are going to the universities. They come out and there are no jobs. So, so we need jobs. We need training. Something that I've heard too is that some of these colleges, like the folks that are graduating, are not really like theories, but they don't have like hands-on experience. They don't get hands-on experience, sorry, and they don't get the required training to be able to perform when they come out. So that, but yeah, I mean, it's a big challenge. But I think what I keep telling people is, I think the private sector, us, the private citizens, are the ones that are going to change Sierra Leone. I think, especially the diaspora, like, and the American diaspora are the ones that are really doing a lot over there, like investing a lot. What I saw were like people coming together. So what I was saying earlier is changing. I'm seeing that there's a lot more collaboration, but it's a lot of us young ones too, and a lot of us that have been
Yeah.
abroad. Let's keep it real, right? So I'm seeing that where people are coming together and building these businesses that are doing very well, that are businesses that you would come to, overseas, that you would patronize overseas, right? As far as like quality of service. So I'm seeing that. I'm seeing I'm hearing and I'm seeing that people are, investing in businesses over there, investing in people. So I think that we are the ones that are gonna make the difference. And I want to say one thing: the reason why I'm working so hard, and I believe so much in the work I'm doing to help stand up the commerce that I was talking to Chamber of Commerce, is that I strongly believe that if we have enough like Sierra Leonean business people from the private sector come together, open successful businesses, right, and come together as one and unify, right, we can have power, we can have influence, and having influence and access and power, that's how things change. That's what happens in America. These lobbying groups, right, they have power. NRA, they have money, they have power. So, and that's why some of these folks back in our countries, like people talk about the Lebanese folks and the other foreigners, they have power because they come together. You know what I'm saying? They come together and they have one word. So I think change things a lot in Sierra Leone. So that's just
That's
my
true.
answer.
I like where you don't actually, because we're gonna talk about it one after the other, but you don't name nearly all of them where we get for name, and just see where you not actually name. I think you named lack of education, which is very important, and then lack of large business scale, which you actually just talk about, and employment. Those are the things I said we're gonna talk about. Law and order is another one as well. Increase in utility charges, which is another one. Then privatization of government, section, because they privatize everything basically nowadays in Sierra Leone, which they affect the people them. Then the landlords as well, landlordism, which I actually call them, and overpopulation is another one as well. Then privilege, when people actually privilege, there's not enough privilege for the people of Sierra Leone, basically. That's the way I look at it in my own moral sense. And then government policies is another one way I say we go look at just a little bit, because the policies and the way things run basically can actually affect poverty in the country as well. And I said to myself, I was going to look at moral cultures, the cultural dynamic in Sierra Leone and the way they go in the way really. Then backward infrastructure, because the infrastructure in Sierra Leone, the roads and everything. We talk about poverty, but poverty comes a very, very long way. But before we go into that, so we get some people that we actually they comment in there. And actually just like for read the comment, and if we get a call, people can call in as well and give their own opinion too. But I got Jimmy, we actually in a regular, we can write for we in comment them inside there. Thanks Jimmy by Kanu Mansawe. And in say, what measure can a government adopt to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor? So that is another one really, which measure where government can actually bring, where we go talk about. And it's a public education as well is another one interesting to supply the skills, which we got to talk about. And then the government can intervene to promote equality and reduce inequality, which is true for poverty level basically. So we actually get people that we don't say, Umar actually say we need job training. People should be ready to go for skills job, which is absolutely true. And then we get Matilda Colway, now one of we regular. We actually can comment and call in as well. I know I'm expecting phone call soon. He say it's a lot of collaboration, if influence and apparent affluence, but I don't understand it very well. But are these collaboration crossing over? So which I believe I say is one. So basically, where they collaborate, but are they actually crossing over? Which I know for say go call just and explain and soon. And then we get Amira. We say, what industry do you notice is open to helping the youth? Helping the youth, I believe, possibly more in Sierra Leone. It's a yours, but I believe it's youth. She's trying to say more in Sierra Leone. So that is one of the things as well we need to talk about. What are the industry open to helping the youth in Sierra Leone? The youth, yes, I get them. So make we start first with the first one where I say, right, lack of education. Lack of education is one of the biggest issue now we country. So in everything where we do the lack of education are one of the biggest issues now in our country. So before we go into that, they make we actually take a caller. We go participate in the program. So we get the caller on the line. Caller, where are you calling from?
Hello, viewers.
Hello. Hi, caller.
Hello, this is Umar. They call from Switzerland.
Hi, Umar. How are you doing, darling?
I'm cool. First of all, I tell the Madam thank you at the studio there, una make one very good point. What una say about the social media, people should be making use of the social media rather than just forget they listen to gossip. That's not one. But when it comes in terms of poverty in Salone, you see one of the major reasons we make poverty in that country is greed. Just like putting that woman talk, everybody do hustle. Your brother bar, your sister bar, native business partners, everybody they was, everybody greed. Everybody just want get what they get, they move. That make we don't see say the margin between the poor and the rich is very high. There is no no way, not the way you go to compare that. And the one way the poor just to go down into the drain every day. You know that thing again, we got to take this out of government issue. We got to look for we self as Sierra Leoneans, as a youthful population, what we get, we've already for go into job training, we've already for land, we've already for land skills, carpentry, medicine, and this not the way they help up now abroad here. But we're not ready for that. Everybody want fast money. The youth, everybody want fast money. And the one that will concentrate a difficult. Why? The chance, the government, they give them the space where they need. Then the job market again is very poor in that country. I feel say government get a lot for do, but we as Sierra Leoneans we've already for land, And then the madam mentioned one thing again. It said it take about 10 years. You see it come a fetch for land, but now just watch now the one the way them left Salone. How many prepare for Canada abroad, even though they get the opportunity for land job and give back to Sierra Leone? What did I do? They're not ready. Everybody just one can get rich. In fact, what they engaging on now for look rich rather than being rich. So like the mindset also is very difficult for Sierra Leoneans. We know they think straight. Everybody just they think. I can say pancreas fiti fata. So I tell woman thank you very much for the program, and actually I go visit in website. Maybe someday I go be interested. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Umar. This is not my own boyfriend, Umar. He's actually my boyfriend. But we got abandoned for the couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Umar, thank you very much, and thanks for your contribution. I think that was a very solid contribution. One of the things that when we pick out of in contribution, it brings out very solid points them where they come back to the education where we start with right now for discourse. But one of the most significant thing where I pick up now in contribution is we're looking rich rather than being rich. That word, that statement is a massive one. I actually have to put this in the Calabash. Now, one statement I put on the Calabash, and we look rich rather than being rich. Because Sierra Leoneans, the one thing where we know they do, then the way we come back to the education side, because that's what we're talking about right now in the first segment, is lack of education. Because when you educate yourself, it takes you a very long way. And the literacy rate in our country and within even in the diaspora, it's so high. It's very, very high. It's not low, it's high. When we educate, there's only one way for actually succeed in this world. The only way to succeed is by educating yourself. You know, I see now social media where people like, you know, different people and they go, I don't want to call names, but I'll call names here. Like Maimuna Junior Parade recently graduated from England, a university. I'll use as an example. To me, I felt really good. I felt good to see people then they go school and learn and try to educate themselves. To me, that is a cadeau to them. You know, them used to them no more. They're not social media. They write every single day and they do different things. Them they cost people. Them come for talk about irrelevant things. Them when you educate yourself, it takes you a very long way because there are certain jobs even where you go want to forget. And when you get that job there, so you need education. You know, you need certain level of education for actually take you go before. You get what I mean? In everything's where you they do. And when a nation is educated, it actually drives to a different level. It actually takes the nation to a different dynamic. It takes the youth them away from poverty. So education is one of the vital main focus where I think for say we forget that the Sierra Leonean community, the government is doing their own. I'm not going to say government not a try, because when every government come, the moment they kind of power, the first way we get now free education. We don't get them with nearly all the government them. We come with free education. Now we come for can give. So they can do their own. But at the same time, as Umar say, take it away from government. I love Rachel you say as well. The government is the people. We're the government. We're the people. We belong to the government. So we have to educate ourselves. It not mean to say, pass you go sit down in a classroom, go to university for educate yourself. You can educate yourself in different ways. For me, when I was writing my book, I had to do lots of research about relationship issues because it's big, it's diverse. So I have to interview people, I have to educate myself, I have to watch different YouTube videos, I have to go to different classes, you know, to actually get that knowledge and educate myself. So people, you can educate yourself in different levels. But before we continue, we get a caller on the line. So because I like for making an interactive program. So caller, who are you the call from and what's your name?
Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Sorry. Good evening from me. So,
Good evening.
yeah. Well, I thank you very much for this. This wonderful program.
Thank you, sir. Who are you the call from and what's your name, sir?
Me now for the call from Dubai.
Okay, from Dubai. Okay, for me.
Like the topic now is I will first of all thank that lady when I get or when
Maya?
yes, yeah. I just came top the show and all to follow up. Like I mentioned some side the way I live in brief, but the poverty system in the country. Yeah. We education system itself now is contributing factor to the poverty rate we face today in the country. Because politics itself don't damage the world. The mindset. Politics gets in the way they play, then the education system itself it damage the whole thing in the country. Let me show you how. We system of education in the country now way for now one way. Go and learn with no practical stuff, even to the tertiary level. Yeah, we not get anywhere in the book for we win at the practical way. All we need now just read, and go there and do it. Wherein government in one side not they provide job opportunities. Now you find out say until you are connected before you get a better job in that country.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if you don't deserve the job, because there are people who don't deserve the job, but they are the one having the job. Yeah. The politics self, anyone say I will say I don't play. I'm really sorry if I'm going out of topic, but this are the key side the way me the type of council. We politics system in our country don't make sure that if you are not from party A, it means you are not belong. Now assume like now just two parties then at the country. If they don't send no reach, yeah, until you belong, before you can have a job or have a or you can become rich. Nothing absolutely not the go on that country. So these are the two key factors because the mindset leads to the poverty. But the mindset you know whose cause now are the politics and with education system and are the main problem in that country. Until they resolve them, then change the system of education in that country. But I mean that's my own take to do. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Thank you very much, Ricola from Dubai. We appreciate what you say. Mia, what you get to say about that, Gandel?
Thank you to both of the callers. Some very great points. So some of the stuff that Umar touched on, I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. He talked about job creation, right? So for job creation, it goes back to what I was talking about. The private sector is going to have to create those jobs. We are going to have to come and create those jobs. The government can help by making it easier for us to create jobs, which I've heard, many people say that for years on now that, the climate to do business is difficult in Sierra Leone. Yes, there's still a lot of corruption and things like that. I think it's gotten a little better, but yes, you have that. So, and also the whole thing about education, how some people don't take education seriously. I think it goes back to poverty, right? So think about it. And I saw this a lot in Sierra Leone, and I used to hear, my mom used to tell me stories about this. I saw a lot of little kids breaking stones instead of going to school, right? You need to, if your family is so poor that you need to help to work so you guys can survive, your parents are not worried about you getting an education. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to survive. So it's kind of funny because you want people to get educated to go to school, but at the same time, people are trying to eat and survive. So what are you going to choose, right, to survive? And one thing about our people, one thing that came to my mind, Umar was talking, was we're very short-sighted. I forgot to say that earlier. What I've noticed from our people, even in the diaspora, it's like we want, we want things right now. We only look at the near future. Like we're not strategic and say, okay, like you said, 15 years from now, what am I trying to accomplish and how do I accomplish those things, right? So we want right now. And I saw a lot of that in Sierra Leone too, where, there were people who had jobs, who were given jobs, right? And they would steal, from the people who gave them jobs, who paid them, who treats them very well, right? And it's like, to me, I always wonder, and this is common, everyone knows this, right, in Sierra Leone. I always wonder, like, you had a job, you were getting paid every month, right? And this like with my parents, for instance, when the cooks cook, everybody all, like we'll give them money, all this stuff. And then, but you still decide to steal and lose your job.
Yeah.
Like I just never understood that. So one thing I want to say too is that people say there aren't a lot of jobs in Sierra Leone. That's another thing. Yes, there aren't a lot of, there may not be a lot of jobs, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who don't want to work too in Sierra Leone, who are stealing, who are complacent, who want to beg instead of work because the amount of money they're begging and making, it's more than what they will go work for. So let's not act like the people, again, don't have any role to play in this. Like I saw that, I heard so many stories about people stealing from people they work from and they have to fire them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they're good workers there because I've known some of them. So I just kind of want to say that I just wanted to touch on that. I thought he brought up some very...
Yeah, it brought up some very good points, basically. I like what you actually said. Because people, they don't want to work. Some people just want everything handed to them in a platter of gold, just in a plate of gold, basically. They don't want to do, well, let me go back to Creole. They're not one for work. People are not one for work. They're not one for doing nothing. Then just want everything for come to them just for free. You get what I mean? And
because that's the society we created.
Yes.
That's our fault too.
Yep.
That's our fault too, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Educating the people. But before we go, we get another caller on the line. Let me see if this caller still there. Caller, who's that you call from and what's not your name?
Okay, just give me a second. Let me pause with this. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
My name is Matilda J. Cole.
Hi, darling.
First of all, hello. First of all, apologies for the typo. I see the typo and I try to correct it, but somehow the editing did not push through.
Okay.
So here was my statement. My statement was Mai make a comment that, when she was in Sierra Leone recently, she saw a lot of collaboration. And my comment to her directly was, or to the show, was this collaboration, in my opinion, appears to be, and I use the word appear gingerly, not because I am not brazen enough not to put it in there, appears to be a collaboration of affluence and influence. Are these collaboration of affluence and influence actually crossing over?
Okay.
Are they actually trickling down? Though that was my question, and here is where I say, and this is really like in all honesty, this is not to pick on you, but I'm going to use a real example that you were involved in. Okay, what do I mean by influence and affluence? Sometime last year, the first lady was, I don't know where she was, but I know that a couple of you and friends, gathered together and, did a fundraising in the name of, Hands of Our Girls. Mm-hmm. Now, with all indication, and I don't need to say this out loud, I think I'll have most of the viewers here backing me up in what I'm saying. That program is an abysmal failure. So now, for me, I remember when I saw that program, and I'm like, oh, shoot, very great initiative. However, was the use utilized in the proper way? And let me be the first to say people are free to support what they want to support and support what they believe in. All right? That's right. And so that is not to say you're not free to support and exercise your own agency, because everyone is free to exercise their agency. However, the country that we find ourselves in exercising some of our agencies, sometimes we need to peel back the curtain and see things for what they are. And so in my saying that collaboration of influence and affluence, I dare to say, okay, there are other organizations in Sierra Leone who are doing work that we can see tangible evidence of. Girl Child's Network, Girls Plus, the Aberdeen Women's Center, Don Bosco, Rainbow Initiative, Just Girls, Sangari. These are work. These are people who, Media Women Matters, and I can go on and on. These are people who have less funding, who are struggling to get visibility, but whose work you can see effective change. You can touch it, you can smell it, you can put data on it. But here is, from my viewpoint, here was, for me, I see it as a missed opportunity, really. Here was, for me, real money that could have been shifted or diverted to something that is not pampered, that is not, color-coded, that is not affluence or influence related, and that could have brought about change. So those are the type of things that I was referring to when I see this. Because listen, I they see all the premier them, I they see all the meetings, all the committees, all the gatherings. Now the same people they're no more, they always they post picture. So when you get down to a society where you begin to see that every time there is something, a premiere, a conference, a gathering, a socialization, a fundraising, you see the same face repeatedly, then you begin to say to yourself, is this not a cult or groupthink? Is groupthink not happening here and people really think they are making, real change? But what they are doing is pampering themselves, tapping themselves on the shoulder and, clapping for themselves and encouraging themselves within their cocoon. So
Absolutely.
when we break out of seeing these influence and affluence appeared, to actually seeing people who these influence and affluences are actually impacting? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matilda. I actually like your contribution. Thank you so much. And that is a big question from Mara. So
yes, thank you. That's
Maimuna, I'm not going to answer that one for you. That is directly to
no,
you.
I can gladly answer it. She made some valid points. So first off, Matilda, what I was talking about was the private sector. I think you're talking about the nonprofits and a lot of the other organizations. What I saw when I said collaboration were the private sector, business people coming together, building businesses, and actually employing Sierra Leoneans, which I was very impressed with, from clubs to restaurants to there's a nail a beauty bar I go to. It's called the Beauty Bar, Sierra Leone. I mean, these ladies from the UK, this amazing luxurious beauty bar, they hire local Sierra Leoneans. So that's what I was talking about, to answer that. Now, a point that Matilda made was a very good point, and that's one of the challenges that I see in Sierra Leone. There are a lot of cliques, I call it that. So like I went to Sierra Leone and I had an event actually where some people, I'm very strategic, right? There are women that I know that I've developed friendships with over the internet that I've known, from, before or whatsoever. So I did a dinner party, and I brought them because I wanted us to network and, to break those what do you call them? Those cliques. Because I feel like there's a lot of that going on in Sierra Leone, where it's like, oh, it's the same people. We're part of this group. We're part of that group. And it's like, oh, we have our awards. We have our this. And to me, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong. It's a lot of, it's performative. That's what I think, right? Some of them are actually doing things too. I should say that. One thing I will say is that you can't, at the end of the day, anywhere you go, I'm in certain circles here where there are only certain people that can get access. That's just life. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens in Sierra Leone, it happens in Ghana, it's access. So you can't get away from that. So if you don't have money, you're not going to be able to pay for a ticket to go to certain events that are, that's just, I think that's just a given, right? So that's just how it is. Everybody's at their level. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that some of those organizations are not helping the people who need help, society, because a lot of them are. Now, one thing I would say is that as far as working with the First Lady, I was the one that drafted the letter. I did a lot, and I asked for information to see what has been done. And I was presented information that showed me the work she has done. And one thing that I said to the folks in the committee is that I don't think, and I've said this to so many people, she's done a lot more than people know, which is why I volunteered to help her with the messaging, because she has actually done stuff. We're Sierra Leoneans, I noticed that in our community, I don't think we don't pay attention to messaging and strategic communication, which is part of my background as a consultant, where you package information. They do it here with the government all the time, right? Before you see anything come out, it's been reviewed 10 times and packaged. Right, because I've consulted with the federal government. That's just how it works. It will be 2 lines Biden has to say, and trust me, it will be reworded because of messaging and packaging, and they'll choose the picture they show. So I don't think we've done a very good job of that. But I will say that the First Lady has had impact. Policy has changed. You may say it's not tangible, and I'm not taking anything away from other organizations, but I would not sit here and say that I don't feel as though the First Lady has had impact based on my involvement in the Friends of Hands Off Our Girls, fundraiser that was very successful, and again, it's a lot of times Sierra Leoneans don't even, don't know the background, what happens and things like that. And of course, we just talked, but the First Lady didn't even want to check from us. She wanted us to buy materials for the hospital she's building. I mean, so but I'm not going to go into too much. But like I said, she made a valid point that there are these networks and cliques in Sierra Leone, which I think is a problem. I feel like people need to work together, and we need to see more of the actual work that's being done. and the impact of it. So I agree with that. But yeah, so that's all. If she has a follow up, I can.
So basically, you actually got involved with the First Lady because you felt she's done a lot of work for the country. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, what I'm saying is, first off, I got asked to be a part of the Hands of Our Girls because I work closely with the ambassador.
Okay.
Second of all, I have a women's organization, the We Network, Women's Empowerment Network. I'm very big on empowering women and girls, people, but especially women and girls. So I saw an opportunity when I was asked. I saw an opportunity to give back to Sierra Leone through her organization, and that doesn't mean I haven't supported any other organizations. And whether or not I did doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, that was an opportunity. So I did ask for information before I got involved to make sure that I am supporting something that is having impact or that can go somewhere. And I am willing to support the First Lady's initiative. I'm willing to raise money for her because I do feel like she's making a difference with the Hands of Our Girls.
Okay, so Matilda, you've actually added now that is the way she feels and that is the way it's gonna live. So I just want us to get away from that subject because we're talking about poverty here in Sierra Leone, even though all that is related basically. And the next thing again, I actually want us to talk about, we've been going on and on about it, but I actually want us to talk about the educational side of it really, because that was where we were before we actually get sidetracked. But lack of education to me is one of the biggest influence and issue when it comes to poverty in our society. As we were saying earlier on, most of the people and most of the concept that we actually have in our society, it's due to lack of education. Even with the clique and everything we have it, as we said, in every society, in every community, there's a clique in it. Even where I live in Atlanta right now, there's a clique. I go to a sport club whereby you have to have so many thousands of dollars to join to be a membership. Yeah. So with that membership, it actually takes you to different, category and different cliques, and you get to know different people. So to me, it's all worth it. You get what I mean? So there's clique in every single society and everywhere we actually go to. I believe in that, obviously. But in Sierra Leone, one of the things that is bringing down Sierra Leone is lack of education. Because when I say lack of education, I mean even technology. Because in the world we live in right now, we live in a technological framework of world. This is technology. That is why we're able to actually do this program and it can actually go worldwide. We've got calls from Australia, from Dubai, from America. We can get calls from everywhere around the world because of technology. But in Sierra Leone, because of lack of education, that is why even the businesses, when you think about it, they're not international standard. The reason why I said they're not international standard, we don't have reliable network in Sierra Leone to actually focus or broadcast us to the international world when it comes to businesses. And lack of education is another thing. So a lot of people don't really know how to use the internet very well. You see what I mean? And the culture and the world in which we live in right now is all about technology. And the next thing again, I would say is the revenue. Because technology brings revenue in every society. Let's just take, for example, this simple TikTok. The TikTok we actually just watched, I can't remember his name. He lives in Italy, in Milan. But the thing, I can't remember his name, oh God, is this boy, the one that don't talk. He doesn't talk, but he goes on TikTok and he just said whatever he has to say without even altering a word. You get what I mean? He behaved like Mr. Bean when we were growing up. But that boy has made so much money out of TikTok. He's actually one of the biggest influencer in TikTok at the moment. You get what I mean? So Sierra Leone people, if only we can educate ourselves by using those kind of things, to monetize it. Look like the way you're doing your talk, you're cooking with me. I love what you said. That was why I specifically asked that question. Your online cooking, you monetize it. You put it so that people can come watch. They can come learn to cook, but they pay you. And you get it from corporate clients as well. It's simple. We have to learn how to monetize certain things, but we don't. We just sit there and but they are make we go on Facebook Live, we go see them over here. Make we go to this place, we go see them over here. You know, we have to learn how to monetize things. Education, educate ourselves. It's so simple, it's so common, but let us just learn how to educate ourselves. That is the only way we will move forward in society. So saying that again, that will bring us to our next subject, which our next subject is large-scale imports in our country. Because those are the things that actually bring revenue in when we talk about it. Because those are the things that actually bring poverty level really, really down. When I say that, it's about you saying collaboration. People collaborating to bring goods to the country. People collaborating to bring things to the country. But at the same time, we spoke about the water key saga the other day, basically. There are lots of things that are going, well, lots and lots of things and the way they go on. I'll try for talk Creole. I don't want to go inside the English. Lots of things and the way they go on. Now we can't see where water key saga na issue. You know, the water key na problem. So if people don't collaborate, don't put their money together for bring things them come na the country. How we go bring come na the country where water key not trouble for we. You understand? Right. How we go create job for the youth them and an employment where for even from the airport now wahala for we. Because imagine you experience first when you get to the airport, take go now Wataki, take go inside the country, na big problem. So how revenue go come, how we go get investors them for actually bring down the poverty level in the country. So those are the things for me just think for say the government need to look at. You get what I mean? For things that we go on at the country basically. Education is one, then large-scale imports come at the country, open the ports, open the country up to people that we go bring investment, you know, into the country. Make things then accessible for the local people then within the country. Make things then where people are able for use affordable one. You get what I mean? Then the next time I want for campus again, now agriculture. Is very important. We talk about poverty in our country, but make we think about this. Agriculture is one of the things that where they bring you know, they bring money in our country. But everybody, Umar be say, I can't remind the word where Umar be say, look rich rather than being rich. Now I know we want for doing our country. And I mean, you want to look rich rather than being rich. But agriculture is one of the things that we go bring poverty level down. Because you know when we talk about poverty, right? People and think for South they also begin talk about where people are not getting money for eat, they're not getting food for eat, they're not getting money for go wear clothes, they're not go. No, I'm talking about the bigger things, the bigger picture, the things that can actually, you know, lessen the poverty rate in our country. I just bring them come to light because everything we can able to talk about in 2 hours. So agriculture is one of the biggest things that when me think personally for say go bring down the rate of poverty in Sierra Leone. We get the land then we get the manpower in Sierra Leone. You get what I mean? Why people are not going to upline and create farm and begin for exporting them go abroad? You know, become your own brand ambassador. Do brand them for different things. Then we get so many things in Sierra Leone. Look, Ghana, just coffee. Now in Ghana, they export to coffee. Think about it. Why Sierra Leone? We get coffee, we get land, we get cacao, we get bauxite, we get everything in Sierra Leone. But yet still, we're so poor. The poverty rate is I don't know how to say it. The rich people are getting rich and the poor are getting poorer every single day in Sierra Leone. So why agriculture not going to become one of the things them where I don't want to bring it to government, but where they're not then go push, you know, for people and for do agriculture in the country. Sensitize people, educate people. Say you don't need for go dump, they wear coat and tie, they go on social media, they be madam or boss lady. Now in you actually become, you know, rich or something. Agriculture, one of the things that could help us in Sierra Leone. Even the young people them, then I can call with the slave queen them. If you actually go na upline, go get your own land, begin for do farming, you know, bring rest. Now the you know, begin for even the swallow rest. Imagine you go buy one bag rest for 500,000 leons or 350,000 leons. We don't go now. Why we not go your own rest? Now we country. The land did it. grow we yes, sell them out to the people them. You can grow country yes, you can grow wala yes, you can grow different things them, you know. To me, agriculture is one of the biggest thing where Sierra Leoneans them, especially the younger generations, need for put their hand into. We go actually help it go help the society, it go help for bring the poverty level all the way down now the country. But we don't really do those things. Before I move any further, make I actually take we caller, we get a caller on the line. Caller, who say the call from and waiting at your name? Hello, caller, hello. Where you calling from and what's your name?
Okay, yeah, good morning again. This is MJC, Matilda Cole calling again.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you very much. So, yeah, just like Abuan say, I hear you make a comment, say I derailed the program. I hope I
No,
didn't.
you didn't. No, you didn't. Don't be.
I hope I didn't, because I gave an example. For me, it was an example
Yes.
within the context
Yes.
of what we're talking about.
Yes.
And like I always can say, people have the freedom to exercise their own agency. Listening to my responding to my my question, and knowing her background, business, whatever strategies and what have you, I can understand how you looking at a certain information, you're able to peel back and deduce certain facts from it that may not be readily available to the public. Like you said, maybe it is a situation of bad communication, bad positioning. I am a communications advisor, senior and communication strategist. I come from that background, so I understand what it is, strategically placed message for governments, NGOs, corporate. I know what that is. And I know that when managed badly, it can be a fiasco. So I'm not going to go to that side because that's not what we're here for right now. However, I just want to talk about education. When they talk about education, what form of education are we talking about? Because most of the time when we speak of education, we speak of formal education.
Yes.
We talk about classroom education. But even within classroom education, there are different stratas. The thing about our society in general when it comes to Sierra Leone is that we do not value tertiary education. We do not value the hand, the crafts of the hand. And usai the money day na the craft of the hand. Forget this be Booker Washington business. If I learned a trade and I find a niche, you know what I mean? That niche, they can provide me far much revenue than waiting me corporate or whatever formal job is providing me right now. And the thing is that we as a people, as a nation, we have not tapped into that reality yet as Sierra Leonean. I see me Nigerian paddy them, me Ghanaian paddy them. I see how much they've been able to turn the curve just by going into farming. Not because these people don't have the same degrees that I have. They did not sit at the same university as me. But, develop apps, develop, communication, tools, going to farming, going to large-scale industry. One person I can say an example, there are many, but one person where I admire, Josie Becks, where, we don't done in degree, just dump America, go sit down at Salone, open in poultry farm. Now he's a supplier to so many people, doing his chicken and whatever have you that he's doing, living life and, making it. And yes, I agree with Mai when she says, and when I speak, I did not speak in abstention of that reality that, society is society. There are different levels and there are different stratas to society. So therefore, not every person can gain access, to the same stratas of society. It's just like me. There are places that I can go that the ordinary Sierra Leonean here in Ottawa or in Canada can never cross. They're not going to even reach them at the street, let alone the open gates for them. So yes, in that built-in reality, however, I'm just saying also, within our society, I noticed something, and there has to be a shift in consciousness. The shift to genuinely imbibe and embrace people and to give them an opening, and to give them, way forward, to show them the light. Because what we can do is that we know the light, but we refuse to share in the light. So that's what I'm saying. So yes, indeed, there is a lot to be done. There is a lot of educating to be done. There is a lot of sharing to be done, and there is a lot of cultural and mind shift that needs to happen. I don't know where it will happen, but I pray it happens soon.
Absolutely. Matilda, you never say I always love your contribution where you can bring kind of the program. So definitely, but you never say there are certain people I don't want to give them the air of time, and I want to continue with my show with, you understand, without really bringing politics into it. So those are one of the reasons I try to get it out of politics, even though sometimes we touch on it. But your contribution them very solid, and I love all you. And please always call. You're always welcome. And I love you. I love you, but you know me, your sister. Go on, Mia. Yes, darling.
Oh, so okay, great. I think Matilda made some very, very good points. Oh my gosh. So one thing, because when you mentioned education earlier, I had the same thought, and you kind of touched on it, that it doesn't have to be just formal education, right? I mean, there's so many ways you can educate yourself. You can read books, you can, like you said, research, you can, there's so many ways, right? You can have a mentor. I learned a lot in my profession from a mentor that actually gave me hands-on experience, even though I have the degrees, right? And that's partly what's helped my career. But one thing we don't do very well is we don't encourage people who have who want to learn technical skills, or who want to do vocational work. It's like, oh, go to school. We still have that mentality. Go be a lawyer, go be a doctor, go be an engineer, this and that, whatever. And it's like, no, first of all, everyone's not meant to be all those things, right? Second of all, just like Matilda said, there's so much money in a lot of these these like technical skills or whatever. There are people that I know, and I'm sure some of us know, who are making so much more money than the PhDs and the JDs and all of that, who have like built businesses around their technical skills, right? For instance, this cooking thing, I tell people all the time, I'm sitting on a multi-million-dollar business. I know that for a fact, right? And this is, again, why I stopped doing what I'm doing, because I know where this can go. I see what my Nigerian friends are doing, the Ghanaians, like she said. A lot of us are not like myself. And that's another thing I'm trying to change, like that, empowering people that you can do it. Because again, it's a cultural thing, right? We grew up being told that, oh, you're only going to be successful if you go this way. And we grew up being told to be workers, not entrepreneurs, not business owners, right? So my thing is, again, like Matilda said, the cooking, the this, the that, there's so much money in there. The money I'm going to make from all of this, I could never make it with my MBA. I know that right now. And I've done well with mine, but I could never. So she had a great point. And one more thing I want to touch on is she mentioned, we need to be able to show the light. That's my biggest thing, mentoring. I mentor a lot of people. I mean, non-Sierra Leoneans, that's another thing I said. I was like, let me focus on myself. I told my cousin yesterday that I mentor. She asked me a question and I said, I need to focus on myself. I'm always like, helping everybody else. But mentoring is important, like showing people the light, like she said, right? That's another thing that changes a lot of cultures. They share information, they share knowledge, they pass it down. We don't do that. We have a lot of successful people in our community who don't take the time to mentor people and say, hey, this is how you go about doing this. This is what I did. Here are some resources. I'm quick to link people up. Everyone knows that. They call me the connector. I will link anybody up, right? To help them or whatever, or help them do their resumes. I've done so much. But again, our culture, another thing is our culture. Oh my gosh, this is big. We have been taught to hide everything, cover everything, this and that. And I'm very against that. People have been telling me for years, you show your life, you show where you live, you show this, you show that. Oh, people are going to do this to you. Nothing has happened to me. I'm not saying people haven't tried, but I'm blessed and God continues to bless me. So I don't believe in that. You feel called by you, you feel called by you this, you feel called by you that. I don't believe in that. That's part of the reason why some people don't share information. They don't want to tell you how you did it, how they got there. So I just wanted to say that, because that.
Thank you very much, man. I think we're going to get back into that. Sharing information I actually want to get back into that, really sharing information. But before that, let me pick up a caller. We've got 2 callers on the line, and I'm gonna pick up both of them right now. The first caller, who say you the call from, and what's your name?
Okay, this now Mustafa they call from Fan.
Hello, Mustafa.
And God bless
so much
for this wonderful program and really educative. And we problem na Salone. And I want to go into the farming side where they talk about more because farming na not cheap, very very expensive. And when you check most of them countries, the way they do well in farming are private investors them. So and the country for be investor friendly. Wise people and go will use the resources and go put on there. But if the country no investor friendly, it will look somehow difficult for you to sustain yourself in farming. All this from when I guess since we government in the Kana Salone, from the time when we get democracy, every government they talk about farming, sustainability, we go sustain ourselves for feed ourselves for this, for that. But none of them no reach the threshold. Then don't buy tractors and then tractors and they buy if them even make good use of them. Each one big town, then village they all forget tractors. But nothing like that because of what happened. It need money. Government not good in business. Now private people them, and then they do business very well. But anything when a government, everything then they politicize them. If this past governments don't do well, when other governments can, instead of them can continue for say this now the good of the people them, then they sabotage them. But if now private investor, they can go in money, and no one know who they na power, who they not they na power. Now for just push, let things happen. Look what how Salone be there before. Look up that Kobe College Day. It be so green that na money where you wake, they see na so due they grow up. But all yonder right now, it just don't empty. Waiting cause of that day, now the war. When people will be there na them villages they upline, when they can't tongue, they can't see the way of life na tongue, they refuse to go back. And that's in normal, almost one decent life. Because we say for we the reach at them village, they go work at people them. Now like where we be the Africa, we admire people away come overseas. Now so them be they admire we where they come off fruit on for good. Now the same thing. So it get for be difficult if the country not investor friendly. Follow you will sustain yourself in that. When we come to charter education, where we they talk about everybody in a salon one work in a bank. It's not out of time. Okay, God bless you now.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you so much, sir. But points that we make very relevant. Make I take the next caller. Caller, who say the call from and what's not your name?
Oh, I'm calling from Washington, D.C. My name is Amidu.
Hello, Amidu. Thank you so much for calling. Please give me your contribution.
My contribution is just like we were saying about education. Yes, important because I'm not born in the city. I'm born in the village. Kamalo, just like after Kamalo and Medina Pula. When we was going to school, we used to leave from school. We go to do farming, agriculture, doing school agriculture. But now people don't want to go to work, especially the north, where I come from. I just came back August. I went June. I came back August the 20 last year. So I check all the villages, no farming. Everybody move in the city, come just to be a trader. So how the country will develop You see, one of the things that I always agree with you when he was talking about agriculture, education, yes, is a part of it, but agriculture is the main problem in that country. The European country contribute to destroy the African countries, especially Sierra Leone. When they go out, they ask them for money. Don't give them money. Give them the material, the machines, especially in the United States here in Washington, D.C. I was trying to organize something to meet the Secretary of Agriculture. Let them afford give machines for the farmers, for agriculture in Sierra Leone. Let them stop giving African countries the money. Because when they give them the money, they're going to share it. They build powerful houses. They send their kids outside. Let them stop sending money for give Africa loan. They are tired of begging. Sierra Leone, a lot of every government comes just going out and beg. That's why because everybody is a beggar. Everybody is a beggar because it starts from the government. People don't want to go to farm no more. You go to the city full of the north, especially where I come from. I'm born in the village. It's the Catholics make I go to school. When I was growing up, my older sisters, my older brothers, none of them don't go to school. It's the Catholics first built primary school. Before I educate, I come back to the city in Makeni. Before I contribute to go to school, I continue. Mm-hmm. So these are the things going on. Let them stop. The Europeans stop giving Africa money. Give them loan. These are the problem. Let them give them machine. America get a lot of agricultural machine. I know people cannot work no more because a lot of things happen in the north. People going to school, when they go to school, they tell them to go to the village to farm. They say no. They're going to laugh on you. They admire corruption. A politician who build nice house, drive nice car in the street. These are the things. So my contribution is that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We call up from Washington, D.C. That was a very, very good contribution where you give there. I don't lost my guest at the moment, but go join me back soon. And waiting me, actually, they say, I like waiting Umar will say, we last caller there, where he say the government loan, basically, that is what I was going to talk about next, government policies. Because the government loan, and I like waiting the other caller say education, not to just, I think Matilda be actually built on that day as well. Where say education is not just about formal education in the classroom. Education is about going out there and educating yourself. Because they say we're in the upline, you know, you'll be getting education and different things. So I really like what we call us say. And I also love we last caller as well. I just love what he say right now. He say government loan, whether they give from the diaspora, whether they give from overseas, if only them will stop for give the government their money and give them the machine and the equipment them for actually build the country, I think is a very good idea, you know. That's a fantastic idea. If they will begin to give them like them, you know, machine that we need. Instead of when they ask for money, they say, okay, we go give you the equivalent to so and so for the country, instead of giving you the money. But you know that's never gonna happen in the African content of government and policies, basically in my own way. So then the way we come to it, Mia, do you have anything to say regarding the callers? Mia, in we can't hear you, Mia. We can't hear you. Okay, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So I thought that was a great point that the last caller made. You know, with regards to agriculture, we need to be able to get the equipment. We need to be able to train the people. We need to be able to actually, you know, put the infrastructure in place, put everything in place for them to be successful. It's very expensive to, you know, to do agriculture. Like, it's very expensive. I was thinking about that when you spoke earlier. And there are people who are coming together, again, some people that I know from the diaspora who are coming together, who are doing agriculture in Sierra Leone, who are trying or whatever. But it's not something that's easy. You know, you have to have the infrastructure for it too. And then a lot of what I've heard about the agriculture in Sierra Leone is that you have a lot of people doing like growing, like farmers, but there's no way to actually, what do you call it? So you grow the food, like to actually produce like goods, right? I'm trying to think of the word. So say you have like apples and you want to make apple juice. You don't have the equipment, the production facility to be able to turn it into apple juice so you can export where the money might be. So yeah, so I thought that was those were great points. The caller.
Those are great points. Yeah, I believe those were really, really great points that all the callers then actually bring so far. So colors them, Kado, and thank you very much for, calls them, and thanks for sharing the program as well to those of you who share the program. And thank you for Matilda J. Cole. I think she called twice and make relevant an opportunity and give we opportunity for talk about things them as well. So thank you, Matilda. Well, I'm with VOS sister, so VOS to get all the brain. We all the brain, we on VOS, I'll say. So the next thing again, we're going to make we touch on Maimuna is actually, you see how it sticks with Maimuna. Maya is the government policies. Government policies are one of the things where they bring, where they, to me, it help for bring poverty in a nation. Because sometimes even the government, they implement them policies them, but they don't really know what is the economic downfall that's going to turn out for the people, the commoners, the common people of the country. Because when it comes to I'm not talking about the people as in government now, I talk about the government structures itself, from the presidency to the ministers to the parliamentarians, the lawmakers, basically. So in my own way, we may just say, the government policies them, some of them, let me say for the example, the Sierra Leone Constitution, they don't write them from 19 donkey, when they don't write the Constitution. And it's not being like revised or like to suit in the present day society, basically. Certain things in the way of the Constitution, where nowadays it's like some of them are racist, in my own opinion. Some of them are really out of date, basically. It's something they don't come back to and amend and change. And the policies that where they put some of them, where people then seek, which side government is taking people them now oversee. Them picking them, most of them they oversee, they go to school. Most of them, when they're not sick, they're not necessarily, they're all going out there for medical treatment. So the masses, the poor people, and they die every single day, and the poor people are not able to afford them thing, and they basically. So to me, the government policies, the way that they put in place, they affect the population, and they affect the people them if the policies are not really put properly. And when it affects people, it brings poverty come to the land. Because certain people are not able to afford certain things them again. And again, then they tie in again with government actually selling, or what should I say, loaning out great things them in our country. Like when I go say, how would I put it? Loaning like the water key. Basically, we see for say government don't take, like the utility or the things that where they go on at the country. Then they loan them out to other people. I'll just give an example. I don't know how to put it, but I'll give an example. Let me say like the ferry, the Sierra Leone ferry, for example. They don't actually privatize them. That's the right word. They've privatized the Sierra Leone ferry right now, right? So because they privatize the Sierra Leone ferry, everybody where they use the ferry or something, I can't remember, but I think it's the ferry, if I could get it right. I don't want to get it wrong, but I believe it's the Sierra Leone ferry. Everybody where they use the ferry, get for pay certain amount of money, where if private entities actually take them, it will be the same thing if they actually eventually privatize the airport. Everybody where they come inside the airport, not going to be a government or Sierra Leonean where they control them. It will raise the price up, and then it will bring a little bit of poverty in the country for the people who are not able to afford them. It could be the same thing with the ports. It can be the same thing with everywhere. We see for say a lot of places, then they privatize the places them instead of the people of Sierra Leone. They run them instead, and they give them to an international body, somebody else, a private company. We go come run them and actually charge the people them more money. So to me, I think that is one of the things that we need to work on in Sierra Leone: the government policies and privatization of government entities. It's very important. It will bring down the poverty rates in the country, just my own opinion. And the next thing again, what I make we touch on before we go is unemployment, the rate of unemployment in the country. It's very, very, very strong. The youth, them, they not work, and they not really get money. And majority of them, they on drugs. We talked about drugs and alcohol last week. Majority of them, they on drugs and alcohol. And majority of them don't really have a source of income. So that's why most of them, they steal, then go out there, then become thieves, then begin for steal and all those things. To me, I think we need to talk about it. So what is your idea about it? Is the privatization of, government entities, and the policies of the government, and also the unemployment rate in the country within the youth. You're on mute again, Mia.
Gosh, sorry. So what I would say with regards to privatization is sometimes it's needed. And I think in Sierra Leone, the reason why we may see a lot of privatization is because we don't have the people, the capacity to actually run the businesses or the institutions the way they should be run, and which will come back to, again, education and training, perhaps. I do think that sometimes there's some corruption in there, of course, right? Hey, I give it to this company because, that's my buddy, or I'm making a deal with them where I'm going to get this certain amount of money back, right? There's that in that. But, I don't have a problem with a certain amount of privatization, but it shouldn't be, there shouldn't be too much privatization, because there's that here as well, right? But yeah, I do think that, again, it goes back to the education and training. I think if we have the people that can do the job, it'll be easier for us as the citizens to question the government, to say, hey, why aren't more Sierra Leoneans, why aren't we running these entities ourselves, with our people who are qualified? So that's what I would say about that.
Okay, so the privatization, so you don't answer that one, privatization. What about the unemployment and government policies?
So unemployment, excuse me, sorry. Aziza, please stop. Come on, sorry. So unemployment, obviously that's a big issue in Sierra Leone. So one of the ways I think we can, we can help with that situation is, again, the private sector coming in and creating jobs, right? That would help a lot. And going back to training, vocational training, formal training as well. But I really think that the private sector, we are the ones that are going to change that. We're the ones that are going to be able to create jobs and empower people and, all of that. So that's just what I've always believed.
With that one, that is a good one, actually, because one of the things then we made a look at with the privatization of things, I just believe for say, if them privatize too many things them way now key all the things in Sierra Leone, people them not able to afford them, and the price is going to go up. Then we say, oh, it's good for the country because people are able to get access to them, but at the same time it's about the affordability of things, because when they do that thing and you're not able for afford them, and you're not able for, I don't know how to put it, but people not going to be able to afford those things. It's going to be very expensive for the normal Sierra Leonean to use, especially people are where they struggle. So, but again, when you say it's about education, because people are not really educated that much, for making it all come together. And it's about collaboration. It's not about education, even to me. It's about collaboration. That's the right word. Because Sierra Leoneans, then they out there, we get money. Not that they not get money, they get money. Sierra Leoneans, then they out there.
I say it all the time.
And the mindset for doing people, it just got me wind up right now. Sierra Leoneans, then they out there.
No, it is.
Education. They got the mindset to do every single thing where government need help with, but yet still we decided, oh, I don't want to get involved. I do not want, because if we all sit down and say we don't want to get involved with Sierra Leone, we wouldn't really be talking. We wouldn't be talking. People are like, I don't want to do this. And now they're wasting ourselves for Sierra Leonean issue. It doesn't mean that you can't get involved. To me, I'll say you don't get involved with your community. You limit your time with your community, but you get involved with the Sierra Leonean issues, because we are Sierra Leoneans. So if government need help, and you get the capability, you get the educational background, you get it in, why can't you offer your expertise to the government instead of sitting down criticizing them? Those are one of the things I was going to talk about. It just reminded me of
that's it.
Because people then instead of government privatizing everything that is going on in our society, in our country, there are people who have the capability of actually coming together and even say, okay, make we come together and buy one ferry for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, and then we get money. I know a couple couple of them,
Of
they
course.
think they're rich. But guess what? They're not
Yeah.
investing in Sierra Leone.
A lot of
They don't
them
even
are.
want to know about Sierra Leone. A lot of them, they don't want to know about Sierra Leone. And the moment you talk to them about Sierra Leone, they come in and tell you, I mean, if they don't know why they bring come to me, I don't think we're gonna the conversation will go this. Afterwards, you know, social media go. Now you did social media, you did involved in the community. You know, we have to come together and work with government and try to get our country together. Because nobody not going able for do and for we. Pass we Sierra Leoneans them. The poverty level is high in our country. It's really, really high. People in the way they really put in that country. They sometimes even eat for it, they not get. Close for where they not get. You know, people and they go born every day. People and they go born at cottage hospital, then they die every day. You know, the infant mortality rate is high in our country. We get cannot hospital. When now it's the government to try for, you know, refurbish them. You know, you get even the mortuary in Sierra Leone. When in the normal mortuary, people don't even get money for go use and inside and they when the mortuary, if you go there, it's the smell and everything else. You know, I heard about it recently. There are things, you know, Sierra Leone need help. We can't just leave everything to government to run it. The poverty level, it's big. People and where they go holiday every single time. You go on vacation, you're only there for a month. You're only there for a month and a half. You don't really, you know, then come back and then put it on social media. Salone sweet. Salone is okay. Everything is going well in that country. It's not. The people in there are suffering. And government cannot do everything. Government, you know, government stuff, you see the government, they go out, they beg to people them. So it's about with the Sierra Leoneans, we have to work together. We have to come collectively as a nation and do things to help our country. Because when you go any sign of this world, I might have my British passport, you might have your American passport, but guess what? You're still a Sierra Leonean. It doesn't matter what you do, you're still a Sierra Leonean. It doesn't matter where you go to, you're still a Sierra Leonean. When you sign certain form, then they ask you the country of birth. You're a Sierra Leonean. You see what I mean? So if you don't make your country, you not bring your country come together and move and go forward, who do you expect to build Sierra Leone for you? You know, we get for think, we waiting at the diaspora, we get for come together, we put ourselves together, put we money then together, put we ideas then together, as me as a mentor other people them, and come together and work together and build Sierra Leone. That's the only way Sierra Leone will come together, and we have to work as a team. Because, you know, like, make we take example, like where VOS get this platform. So if I be said to myself, oh no, me na Calabash princess, me na Francis with the Calabash, I do on my platform, I know the kind of VOS. I will message Django the past that just me young friend and limited people gonna hear my message. You get what I mean? If when I be call you say, ma, can make we can do this program now, so make we can talk about, you know, the effects of poverty, and you're like, oh yeah, Francis, that's fantastic, I'm gonna come in. If you know, we all get with bitter moments. Then if we say no, I don't like you, I don't want to work with you, we're not gonna be here today and talk about this. You get what I mean? So the one thing we are the big we Sierra Leonean people them to that way we come to corruption. Please, it no matter which bitterness you get with somebody, it doesn't matter how this person don't hurt you that much. It no matter if I say, oh, this person in Padina don't hurt you. We have to put all those petty things behind us and work together collectively as a nation and build Sierra Leone for the sake of the younger generation coming up, for the sake of we young picking them, even though we born them overseas, but still they're still part and parcel of Sierra Leone. You see, if I say Africa is coming up in the international anthem, you see what in Nigeria they do, we see what in Ghana then they do. You get what I mean? Other countries around us are doing great, marvelous things. Why can't Sierra Leone do all those things? And we've got all the resources. Why can't we bring our poverty level down? Why can't we actually help each other, even in the diaspora here, instead of tearing each other down? You know, we have to build our country. And that brings us to our next topic, when are we concluding topic in this one, when are corruption. Because corruption, now one of the things them way, to me, now a sickness in Africa. Corruption, they everywhere. Not that in other anywhere, corruption, they every single way in the world. But it's a sickness in Africa, especially in Sierra Leone. We get corrupt politicians, corrupt people, corrupt business people, corrupt mindsets. And if we talk about poverty, Those are one of the major factors in the poverty of the country because of corruption. When the money they come, the money then they bring the money come. Other people then bring the money come in different factors. But whose side the money they go? Is it going to the right channel? Like waiting for Matilda be say, you know, where another one come up with that issue. But it's right. Is the money going to the right channel? People then go raise fund, do every kind fundraising for people then, but is it going to the right channel? You get what I mean? So corruption is one thing we highlight so much in that country there, and it's one of the major factors where they bring we can down as a nation. So I just don't know if you want to give light in corruption before we leave.
Yeah, so you made some very good points. So I've always said that, you know, the citizens, the private sector, we can combat corruption, right? We can come together, like you say, collaborate, come together and unify. And there's what is it? There's power in numbers. Again, I mentioned this earlier, like you know, coming together and building coalitions and you know, institutions where you're able, because of your influence in the country and your power, you're able to make the government make the right decisions, right? Because it affects them. It affects you getting in office. If our group is so powerful that, you know, if you don't do these things that you promised to do, right, within the time you're in office, we're able to work so you don't get back in, right? I mean, so there are different ways so to have influence. So I feel like that's one way we can change things as far as corruption. But I feel like, again, what I said when the show first started, in general, we're a corrupt people. Like, I saw it at every level. I saw it with people that I didn't even expect, highly educated people, where it's like somebody's always trying to get over you, you know, and that's just the way it is in our country. So our mindset has to change, right? We have to think about the long term. We have to think about, okay, if I work with Francis, you know, what can we create together? How can we change this place? How can we have positive influence? Like you said, there's so many people, I'm going to touch on this. There's so many people who say, why you worry about Salone? I'm a perfect example of that. I worked with Ghana. That's how I met the Sierra Leone ambassador. I work with the Ghanaian ambassador. I work with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Ghanaian Chamber of Commerce. I have access in Ghana, okay? And I tell people all the time, when those that don't understand, they think, oh, you're trying to go to Sierra Leone because of access. I've had access in Sierra Leone. I don't care what president comes, what government comes in. My family's connected, okay? But that's not why I'm doing this. Ghana, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of business in Ghana. Do you understand? If I was looking to make money off of Sierra Leone right now, I would be focusing on Ghana. But I'm doing it because I love Sierra Leone. I'm doing it because we can be like Ghana. If enough of us go back and contribute, if enough of us love Sierra Leone enough to go into areas like the Chelsea player Antonio Rodriguez, he's going to invest in sports, right? Sports, he's going to empower those in sports, the youth in sports. We can all go. I can do business. I can go and start like some type of a cooking industry, whatever, like training folks. I mean, there's so many things we can do, right? You have a hair shop. You can do something with that. Right. So my thing is, like, we all have to play a role in it. And I honestly, I don't know what it is. I'm a very optimistic person by nature, but I see Sierra Leone changing in the next 10 years. I see it getting closer to where Ghana is. If we continue with what I saw this time, the private citizens, I believe it can happen. And I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm seriously going to do whatever I can.
I believe in that too. I just believe the dynamic is changing in Sierra Leone, and it's changing slowly. And it has to be the private sector that have to do it. The people, we the people, have to change the narrative of the country. We cannot really just sit down and wait for government to come do it. Because the governments, they're going to come and they're going to go. And believe it or not, they're going to steal. They're going to steal. They're made out of. They're made for steal. They're made out of, you know, when people then go inside government, now for thief your money and go, because they come in government, you see them, they're poor. But by the time they leave government, they've got houses, they've got millions of dollars stored some places. But the private sector, the people, now we get for change the country. It's our duty as Sierra Leoneans, me and you, for change Sierra Leone. Not wait for government. Don't sit down and like, oh, I'm waiting for government to come change the country. No, don't wait for government. Change the mindset. It's all about the mindset. Mia said it, Matilda J. Cole said it, Umar said it when he called, our caller from Washington, D.C. said it. Is the mindset of the people. That is what we need to change. The narrative. That is the reason we, English again. That the reason that we make we they do the program them. We they do them program they also for change the mindset of people. We they do them program they also for make we all educate each other. Because the more we talk about it, the better it is for the nation. Maybe one grandpa's away, they watch this program, be able to help Sierra Leone in a different concept. And maybe one person where they watch this program can able to say, okay, make I go mentor somebody out of waiting middle land, so that this person also can able to develop himself. Maybe somebody where they watch this program go say, listen, make I just send 10,000 leons for somebody down there for help them, for pull them come on the streets. Maybe some person where they watch this program go say, okay, make I help, make I go loan this person business money for make it go start something for better Sierra Leone. Or maybe even one of the politicians them where they watch this program, or friends of the politician, go able to help government for implement, policies that may go help the country for better Sierra Leone and for actually bring down the gap of poverty in our country. Because the thing when we don't see for say go bring the gap down in the country, the poverty gap down in the country, if we got to minimize corruption. How corrupt we are as a nation, we have to learn to minimize it. It's very, very important. And we get for try we level best as well, really, for educate we say. It no matter for say you get for go classroom, for go do a formal education, now I don't mean education, no. We can educate ourselves in different way, in different perspective, different things them. And you get for learn as well for say, you get for be focused. Whatever you put your mind to, remember for say it go work for you. From when I start my media issue, I started the social media broadcast from when I just moved to go England. I begin for do I'm live na Facebook. Then come then cost me na Facebook. I go to Star Radio na England. Then come they will Star Radio say I moved from America. It was a successful one. And I actually go na my Facebook, my Franciscan Facebook page doing it. It was successful. But at the end of the day, I'm a Sierra Leonean. I have to do things with my country. That is why I'm with VOS, working in collaboration with VOS, so we can able to put things them go before, for make we all go learn, go develop. Not that I'm an expert, but I just get a little bit of idea. Now, so a lot of Sierra Leoneans then they down there, then get idea. Look like my sister Mayor. Maimuna actually get in degree. He study well, he don't travel well, he diverse, he gets a clue. But what he do? He come, he embrace in Sierra Leone culture, he writes a book, a cooking book, he gets in cooking show where he they do online, where he monetize. You have to remember that. So we have to learn as Sierra Leonean for bridge the poverty. We have to do things beyond our box. Bank say do things beyond the box. You have to. You can't just wait say, hey, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. That's the only way it's gonna go. No, you can be a farmer. You can be a TikToker. That's how easy it is. You can be a YouTube blogger. You can be, you can be somebody where they go take waiting charcoal now upline for can sell now the city. You can be somebody where they export per mine come overseas. You can be, you can do different things. You can open a cooking shop now Sierra Leone, what they call cookery shop. You can even get you cold water to sell. You can get so many things that way you they sell just for pull you come on the street and bring you come up the chain of the poverty line instead of going down the poverty line. So we have to embrace ourselves and people as well. If they watch this show, they I'd beg you. If one of you now they watch this show, make one per you now each. Well, we get people that now where they watch live, right? Each and every one of you now try for mentor somebody na Sierra Leone. Pick a child in Sierra Leone and start mentoring that child. It could be your daughter, it could be your son, it could be someone related to you or someone not related to you.
Right.
Not of I dey send money for that pikin there. No, that is not what it meant. It meant for say pick somebody, mentor the person, give the person your ideas, give the person, things them way go make that person there in brain think and say, oh, I want to do this when I grow up. You they lead that person there in the right way. It's not just about being on social media cussing. It's not just about me to go on Facebook for gossip and say the things that were irrelevant to say. We have to learn to educate ourselves. We need to learn to work collaboratively as a team, and we need to learn for share information. May I say it earlier on? We have to learn to share information.
Yeah.
To me, information is key. Research information, share information, learn how to work collaboratively as a team. Make we join with money them together, we idea them together, we bring them together for help government, for help we. We cannot just leave everything with government. Government is an all separate entity. We have to learn as Sierra Leonean, we're stronger than government. That's one thing people don't understand. We as a public, we as a nation, we as a people, remember we voted the government in. If we come together and work together, we're stronger than the government, and we can actually do something really great for Sierra Leone. And at the left, is there anything you want to say?
I wanted to say something kudos to the diaspora community, especially those from America. We are actually leading a lot of the transformation over there in Sierra Leone. And it's not that we're better than folks or this and that, but a lot of us have been exposed to this entrepreneurship mindset. We've been exposed to certain, different cultures of ways of doing business, right? So, and there are those there that are the same, but, I think coming together with people in Sierra Leone, that's what's changing things, and that's what's going to change things. So I just encourage everyone to continue to build these partnerships, like Francis said, to mentor, to do whatever you can to help to take our country to the next level, because we're the ones that are going to do it.
Thank you so much, Mia, today. I want to ask you one question, though, before you go. If you get the opportunity, right, for being the vice president of Sierra Leone one day, what are the things you'll change and why?
Wow. So I think the first thing that I would work on is to make the environment conducive for investments, for investors to come in, and that's working on the infrastructure. Because when people are able to invest or businesses are able to thrive in that country, it'll go back to helping, providing jobs, right? And when people have jobs, they're able to feed their families, they're able to send their kids to school. So that will handle that. Then I'll also work on healthcare. I think that's very important. Making sure the healthcare system is up to par, and we don't have to travel anywhere to get things done. But business would definitely be my first focus. And I mean, that's my loves are politics and business. So.
That's fantastic. Okay, just the last one. If you were left in a deserted island, right, on your own, what are the 3 things you would take with you and why?
Wow. What are the 3 things I'll take with me? I'll take a pot. I'll take a pot. Yeah, I'll take my garlic. And I will take I would take a Quran or a Bible. I'm a Christmas, so I do both. But probably. But I love to cook, so I need to be able to cook. I'll be able to make fire and stuff and find stuff to cook, but I need to be able to cook, and I need my garlic too. I put garlic in everything.
Okay, Maimuna, and if I pronounce this right all the time, thank you so much for joining this program, and absolutely enjoy you in this program today, and your contribution has been superb. And thank you. I really, really appreciate you coming in. And for every time I call you, always did it like Francis. Yes, I love that about you. And Maya is actually open to everyone. If you call her, Maimuna, she's there. She'll be there for you, and she mentors a lot, and she gives a lot of advice. I'll tell you guys that for sure.
Yeah, Sorry, can I give my website? So my website is maiburnette.com, myburnette.com. So there you see everything that I do. So my Cooking with My, everything is there, the women's organization. So that's maiburnette.com. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you for your participation today. And for me, Calabash family and fans them, this now in a girl Francisca, and I hope for saying I don't get a very good week, and I hope for saying I enjoyed the program with we today. And thank you so much to all the callers them we call in today. And you know, say I can get me co-host, but you know they are so today, and a man get burying. So what I get for say, I say my condolences to the Banya family, and I actually they pray for you now right now, okay? And Nene, I not see you today. I hope you're okay and well. Noah, I hope you guys are all doing well. And I miss you guys, but as you see, Francis K is leading over here, and we take the role going. And I get a very brilliant guest today. And me fumble them. The one word what they left you not today with. Now Uma actually give me that word today, right? He say, look rich. Rather, he said written, looking rich, rather than being rich. So that what they actually stick in my brain. Umar called from Switzerland, and he gave me that word. So today, what I left you now with, I don't want to make we always they look rich. We don't they look like we all get money in social media, and everything is perfect with our life. And we're sending the wrong messages out there to the youth of Sierra Leone. I know I make we go holiday and look for say we all rich, and we're sending the wrong messages out there in Sierra Leone. So I beg you now, please, I'm begging you people. I want make we actually begin for look how we dey behave, how we supposed to behave, and send the right messages out there. And when I say the right messages, I mean for make we begin for mentor. We picking them. For make we begin for give ourselves the right advice. For make we begin for behave perfectly well on social media. For make we stop for cuss ourselves. For make we actually allow ourselves for breathe. For make we allow ourselves for actually take the limelight. Where we not be once African giant. We are once African, you know, when you talk about Africa, Sierra Leone used to be the anthem of Africa. So we get for try again as Sierra Leonean for make we recover ourselves, for make we recoup and actually be ourselves again. Sierra Leone, now we all you, as Dr. Olokin say, you know, make we help ourselves for enjoy Sierra Leone. So as you know, see right now, this now, my sister, in websites and the show we saw. So you don't need for going in website, you don't need for see what they do, and make we support them, because they said we have to support each other. Support. That is the only way we'll go forward. It's good for us to come here, we talk about things, but we have to be able to support each other. So this now in a girl Francisca, and today me done for this program. I love you now all, and VOS, thank you very much. Have a blessed weekend. Until next week again, Frances, love you now. Bye.